I'm delighted to be generous because I was granted Australian citizenship, was I, briefly? But I'm a New Zealander, and good morning, everybody. I'm really honoured to be here. It's in fact a real delight. I have a long relationship with this university. It was almost 15 years ago that I was sitting in my office, at that time over in District 3, when a group of Australians called in to see me. These people looked a little bit odd, and I now realise that they were professors. And they told me they had just landed from Melbourne, that they were in town to set up an international university here in District 7. They would develop a world-class faculty, teach an international curriculum, attract the best and brightest students, and issue degrees in a building that would be designed by a team of Australia's leading architects. Now, at that time, as many of you will know, this land was swamp. The easiest access was by boat, and I know because we came and had a look at it. Nothing of what they described existed in Vietnam, much less an international university. Asia at that time was in the midst of an economic crisis. Investors were leaving, times were tough. And this is my job as an auditor, was sceptical. It frankly seemed like a fairly crazy dream. But I'm very proud that that group appointed me as an advisor to that initial project back then, and I continue to be amazed at what RMIT has achieved out here. So congratulations, RMIT, well done. Well done also to the graduates here today. We're marking the end of one phase of your life, that of formal learning, and the beginning of another. Many of you will leave this place with jobs secured. Some will go on to further study, and in this current very difficult economy, many of you will start your new lives without a clear plan or indeed a place to go. But you probably all have common feelings: regret that the experience of university life is over, and fear plus excitement for the uncertainty that lies ahead. I faced this fear 20 years ago when I left my university in New Zealand. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't have any money. I had to move home with mum and dad, ending my years of freedom. I had to take a job in my old hometown because I am what many of you would call nyakwe. But the great thing about my life since then has been the very uncertainty that you all face today. Packing up and moving to Vietnam when I was 25 years old was one of life's great surprises and one I don't regret. And being asked subsequently to serve KPMG in leadership roles that take me literally around the world every few months has of course been another. I'm not, despite my appearances, a boring accountant, which I trained to be and which indeed many of you have trained to be, but neither am I a farmer like my father. By doing what I want to do and doing what I'm good at, I have succeeded, not by meeting expectations, but by exceeding them. And that's just one of my messages to you all today. Don't follow the norms, don't meet expectations, don't just play the part that others expect you to play. I think that by being honest to yourself in your personal lives and in your professional lives, acknowledging your weaknesses while playing to your strengths, and doing what you really want to do, you'll be more successful in life and you'll be happier along the way. It is normal in these speeches to quote business leaders or politicians or great academics. But I decided that after 4 years at RMIT, you've probably all heard enough from great academics. So instead, I want to share an interview that I saw a few years back on an Australian TV show, which was hosted by a guy named Andrew Denton, who was interviewing an American comedian named Jerry Seinfeld. Now, Seinfeld was a TV show that I spent too much time watching when I was a student and I should have been studying, and I still think it's a great show. But Seinfeld in this interview inspired me when he set out 3 very simple rules for living. They're very good, they stuck with me, and I follow them. Rule number 1 is work your butt off. After we finish studying, we will spend the vast majority of our lives either sleeping or at work. And just to be clear, that's not sleeping at work. We better make sure that we find a job we absolutely love. We should bring passion to work every day, and we should work as hard as we possibly can and do the very best job that we can as this will only bring us reward and satisfaction. I love my job. The very best people at KPMG, and that's not everybody, love their jobs too. And I'm successful because I follow this rule. I work my butt off and I'm passionate about everything that I do. Rule 2 is pay attention. You probably had that shouted at you by the RMIT lecturers here over the last 4 years, but you know it's really good advice to follow every minute of your day. If we don't pay attention, we miss out on the world and the people around us. If we pay attention, put down your iPhones and just look up, we see and enjoy incredible things. When I first moved to Vietnam 15 years ago, I wrote a letter to the friends that I left back in New Zealand, and I took it down to the post office. This was before Facebook. Telling them that my Sayom ride to work every morning was the most incredible part of my day, as I saw this whole new, crazy, colourful city of Saigon that I now call home come to life around me. By paying attention, by looking, listening, smelling, touching what is around us, life is a better and more enriching experience. Rule number 3. This is my favourite. Fall in love. Now, Seinfeld didn't mean to get a boyfriend or get a girlfriend, but that's probably good advice. But what he was saying is that we should, as we go through our daily lives, pause, take stock of what is amazing, what is good, and simply fall in love with it. So take this cup of coffee. This coffee is incredible. It's amazing. I love this coffee. It's the best coffee I've ever had. They're not all good. This one is good. Fall in love with it. Your new t-shirt. Fall in love with it. Look at my new haircut. My haircut is beautiful. Fall in love every day with all sorts of the wonderful things that happen around you. I think it's great advice from Seinfeld. I follow that and I recommend you do too, because it makes life more interesting. So, let me finish with a word to the mums, the dads, the grandparents, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, partners that are here today. I became a father only 3 years ago, and I look forward to sitting in your seats one day as my beautiful boy Jay realises his dream, whatever that may be. Your kids have experienced something in this university over the last 4 years that most of you never had the chance to experience. The Vietnam that you grew up in simply did not have the capacity, the opportunity, or the circumstances that your children have had. Many of them, like me, will be the first generation in your family to graduate from university. You've given them an incredible gift, an outstanding education that will equip them as best can be in this terribly difficult world. They may not say thanks, Mum and Dad, but they, their children, and indeed Vietnam, will benefit immensely from the path on which you have set them. And your job now is to guide and encourage them as they set out on the next phase of their lives. But remember, Mum and Dad, they need to follow their dreams, not yours, and to show you love them, set them free. But congratulations to you two, and congratulations to everybody. Thank you.